and wonderful. I don't want my love to go to waste. I want you and your beautiful soul. You're the one I wanna chase. You're the one I wanna hold. Now let another minute go to waste. I want you and your beautiful soul. Yeah.
That was great! Awesome! Dream Street!
Dream Street. Taking it way back. You guys have any questions?
Oh, I do.
Go for it.
So your sound used to be kind of more pop, and then it got into hip hop. So what made you switch to a more like retro sound?
Because he's black.
You know, I just grew up listening to a lot of soul music and a lot of R&B. Growing up as a '90s kid, you know, all my friends. It's funny, like the '90s is now retro all of a sudden when you listen to radio, but it's you know, my friends would listen to like 9 Inch Nails and Metallica, and I was listening to like Babyface and you know.
Oh, that whip appeal, huh?
You figure deal me?
Yeah.
So I was listening, you know, a lot of R&B stuff. I was listening to Babyface and like TLC and Usher. Yeah, like Lisa Left Eye was like my biggest idol.
Myself!
Yeah.
You ate a lot of collard greens. That's what it was.
We were just in the South too. We got a feel of soul food. So for me, it was just about this album particularly. It was about making a record that was sort of a reflection of what I grew up listening to as a kid.
I knew it!
Those influences that, you know, made such an impact on me, like Michael Jackson and Prince.
Rest in peace!
So this is sort of a tip of the hat to those artists and that time for music. Anybody else? Yeah, right here. Am I ever gonna go back to Broadway? Maybe. I don't know. You know, I have a lot of friends on Broadway right now. I did a show called Army Wives. Yes. There's a guy named Joshua Henry who plays. He played. I think he was a lieutenant or so. I forget what his title was, but he was another soldier in the military with me on the show, and I had no idea how amazing. He was just nominated for a Tony for his role in Violet, I think it was called. And you know, I every time I see those performances, I get a little bit of an itch to go back. But I did theater my whole life. Like growing up, that was sort of I was theatrically trained. My foundation for music and acting all started in the theater, and you know, I think theater is great. It gets a little monotonous after a while. You kind of want to break out and do different things. But I could see myself going back at some point. Yeah, yeah.
Because he can. I know, something you are.
It's perfect.
When you say, why did you cut it, the implication is that it's not as good as it used to be.
It's perfect.
You don't like it?
We love it.
It's nice. It's like,
I love it.
You can run your hands through it if you like.
Oh, hello.
You guys want to hear another song?
Yes.
What are we, any requests?
So cool. So cool.
Oh she's so international. The way she get it on the floor. I'm trying to holler at you. I wanna get to know you better. Parlez-vous français? Konnichiwa, come and move in my way. Hey little chica from Guadalupe, that thing you got behind you is amazing.
Oh, wow.
Spanish, Japanese or French, the way that body talking definitely makes sense. It's her body language. It's her body language. The way she moves around, the way she grinds to the beat, breaking it down articulately. It's her her body language. It's her body, she make me wanna say, hey, yeah, hey, yeah, hey. It's her body language, come on. Sorry, my mom's calling. I wanna get to know you better. Parlez-vous français? Couldn't you rock on me moving my way? Hey, little chica from Guadalupe, that thing you got behind you is fantastic. I speak Spanish, Japanese, or French, but the way that body talking definitely makes sense. It's her body language. It's her body language. The way she moves around, when she grinds to the beat, breaking it down, all taking it to the yeah. Body language. Body, she make me wanna say, hey, yeah. Hey, yeah. Hey, it's her body language, come on. You got a question down there? Go for it.
What?
That's a good question. Man, my favorite Disney movie, I think Aladdin was one.
Yeah! That's my favorite! Yes!
Aladdin, The Lion King.
Yeah.
We grew up like with some of the best Disney movies.
Ain't that a truth?
The Mermaid was killing it. Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah. Toy Story.
You know, it's funny, like, you think of a Disney movie or Disney music is very, PG, which it is, but the music is in fact some of the most complicated scoring and composition you can ever read or play, and it's very hard to sing. I have a lot of respect for Disney music.
And Disney characters.
It's pretty amazing.
I work at it.
I've seen you jump for the last 20
I
minutes,
know,
so
really.
you better answer your question.
I just enjoy watching you struggle.
What's up, Josh?
Okay, I have one really big reason for coming here.
Which is?
What's that?
I'm going out on a huge limb here.
Okay.
I really wanted more than anything for you to sign my copy of Pete.
Sign your what?
Copy Pete?
Okay. Yeah, pass his copy. Yeah. All right. You like that movie?
Yeah.
All right.
I loved it when you were in Kingdom Hearts. That's right? Yeah. Really? Awesome.
Just watch the cover, it's falling off.
Thanks, brother.
Oh my goodness.
Anybody else have a
Me!
question?
Me!
Yeah. Either. Why don't you go first?
Wow.
I wouldn't say nervous. I'd say just anxious. When you have. Thank you. I have some of the best musicians on stage with me. This is Matt on guitar, and Phil, who sings background vocals. He busts out on stage a little bit too. He gets down.
Oh snap.
We'll save it. And Nando on bass, and Matt is actually one of the newest additions to the band. We've only played together about a month, but it feels like forever because he's amazing. But when you're traveling with a group of friends and family, if that's the easy part, for me, I'm not really nervous. It's just, I'm a perfectionist. I think we all are, and we just want it to be amazing. And like before the show, before you guys got here, I was going over lighting with Rhiannon. There's Rhiannon, say hello.
Hey! How you doing?
And just like little things, like when, the certain, like the palette of which, the colors on stage and what it looks like for each song. Like that stuff matters to me, and it's supposed to be seamless on stage. It's supposed to seem effortless, and I think that's what makes such a good show. So in rehearsals, we did probably 2.5 weeks of production rehearsals before the show, and it always takes a couple of performances to work out all the kinks, but now it just feels like a well-oiled machine. Like we're just kind of plowing through it so you guys can have the best time.
So cool. So cool.
Holy crap, this is really happening. Thank you,
Woo.
Jesse.
Yeah, man. Any other questions?
I do.
Go for it.
What is your favorite song to perform?
My favorite song to perform on stage? I mean, they're all so much fun, but I really, there's a moment where I get behind the piano and I do The Other Guy.
I knew it!
And that's a really nice moment. And then in terms of like an upbeat song, you know, the whole show is very high energy. I would say 85% of the show is choreographed. So we're moving around a lot. Punch Drunk Recreation is a lot of fun. And you guys are going to have fun watching that number.
Yay!
You guys want to hear another song?
Yes! So cool!
The Other Guy!
Oxygen!
And it's back to Josh.
I want to get oxygen.
Oh, you're super.
Wait, what's he playing? Where's he at?
Oh, bad.
Okay.
I love this song.
She's a miracle. She got everybody talking. She don't care at all. Watch the way she's walking. Ooh, she's a classy girl.
Very classy, very classy.
Yes, I am.
Got danger in her touch. She should come with a warning when she struts her stuff. Every head is turning. Ooh, she's a classy girl. My girl is super bad, superstar. Got no time for photographs. Watch out. My girl is super bad, that's a fact. Knock your train right off the track. Watch out. She's divine all the time, and everything she does is always by design. My girl is super bad, that's a fact. Knock your train right off the track. Watch out. Treat her like a queen, don't need no permission. Sexy's her routine, she's the definition. Ooh, she's a classy girl.
Like Coca-Cola.
My girl is super bad, superstar. Got no time for photographs. Watch out. My girl is super bad, that's a fact. Knock your train right off the track. Watch out. She's divine all the time, and everything she does is always by design. My girl is super bad, that's a fact. Knock your train right off the track. Watch out. Couple more questions? Yeah, right here.
He just
I'm
did.
listening to all of you on stage. Yeah, right here.
Do you, I was gonna say, go ahead. Sorry. What do you have planned for the next few years?
Oh
My
my
plan for the
God.
next few years.
If you
want the
are
whole,
like-
through 2017. All right. I don't know.
what you
I
want
think-
to happen?
Well, what do I want to happen? Well,
For y'all to stay his fans.
I would love for this album for it to have obviously long legs and longevity, and I think that when you're working an album and you're promoting it, it takes a long time for it to actually saturate and for everyone to become familiar with it. And it takes a lot of work, and touring is just the tip of the iceberg. We have to do a lot of promotion, going to the radio stations and shaking hands with people, and just talking about the record. And I think I would be really happy if we hear people starting to talk about this album, because I think that it has a lot of meat on it. There's something to really sort of dive into, both musically and lyrically. I think it's personally my best work, and it's nice when it's appreciated by your fellow peers. So the next, I don't even want to take that much time off of touring. I'd like to, at the end of this tour, take maybe a month off and then get back out at the end of the year. That's right. And there's also some acting stuff that I have in the works for the end of the year.
Heck yes.
But have you guys seen Young and Hungry? I actually haven't seen it yet because we've been on the road, but I'm doing it on ABC Family. For those of you who don't know, there's a show called Young and Hungry on ABC Family, and I'm on like three or four episodes of this season. It's a lot of fun. It's a comedy, a multi-cam comedy, so check it out. You guys want one more song before we take it off?
Oxygen! 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 Oxygen!
We got ready? Yeah. 1, 2, verse. Hey, baby girl, I've been watching you all day.
All day, all day, all day.
Man, the thing you got behind you is amazing.
Amazing, amazing, amazing.
You make me wanna take you out and let it rain.
Let it rain, let it rain, let it rain.
I know you got a man, but this is what you should say. Why don't you tell him that I'm leaving, never to come back again? You found somebody who does it better than he can. No more making you cry, no more gray skies. Girl, we flying on a G5, G5, and I'm leaving, never to come back again. Call your shoulder, you tell him you found a new man. The one that's so fly, the one that keep you high, and you singing all night, like, like. Oh, oh. Man, she don't be singing. She don't be singing. Now if I talk it through, you know that I'ma walk it out, walk it out, walk it out, walk it out. Only when I'm out of this.
Real talk.
Cause you the kindest little thing never seen, never seen, never seen, never seen. So I'ma ask you one time, do you got a man?
No, I don't.
You tell me that I'm leaving, never to come back again. You found somebody who does it better than he can. No more making you cry, no more gray skies. Girl, we're flying on a G5, G5, and I'm leaving, never to come back again. So call your shorty and tell me you got a new man. The one that's so fly, the one that keep you high, and you're singing all night.